can actually see the money in your business that you don't see.
Have you ever dreamed of building a seven-figure business with your expertise?
It's all about planning and strategizing.
I'm Matt Bellman, and this is Million Dollar Creators, where you can learn how to become a million-dollar creator yourself. Meet Lindsey Anderson, an online business consultant that helps entrepreneurs sell more programs and memberships more profitably.
If you want to win big in your business, you should double down on organic social media.
Lindsey is also a best-selling author, the host of the Millionaire Maker Show, and just has been part of the show The Trust on Netflix.
Find a coach or a consultant who has already done what you want to do and follow their advice. Do not figure this out for yourself.
Welcome Lindsey Anderson to the show. Lindsey is an online business consultant with 20 plus year digital marketing experience as a business owner, best-selling author, and podcast host. Her specialty is helping online business owners profitably sell more programs, more courses, and more memberships. Welcome, Lindsey, to the show.
Hey, Matthias, thanks for having me on today. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Let's start with what's your mission on this planet and what inflection point made you start your business?
Oh, well, that's a good question. So my journey in this world is to make building businesses so much easier for people, because I know that as people build their own business, they can have a bigger impact in the world and really make an impact on the lives of their customers. And so that's my way of helping them do that to make the world a better place. And the inflection point for me was I was working at a nuclear waste facility out in the middle of the Idaho desert. And I was like, I don't want to be an employee anymore. I'm driven by something of my own, something that will make the world a better place that is not out in the middle of the Idaho desert. So I decided to hang my own shingle and leave my full-time consulting job and start my own business.
Great. So just double clicking on that real quick. So what did you do again in your previous life?
Yeah, in my previous life, I worked at a nuclear waste facility creating software to track nuclear waste drums.
That's so particular.
Yeah, it's like they haul you out to the middle of the Idaho desert. And the first day I worked there, I took a drink from the water fountain and everyone was like, do not drink the water, because it was like nuclear waste was like seeping into the ground. So, there was a lot of reasons to leave.
Yes, I understand. That's a good segue to talk about today and your offer. So if I were a customer of yours, what's the offer? What value do I get?
Yeah, so I'm really into step-by-step systems, like a good strategy that you follow with an iterative approach. So I really am big in organic social media marketing. And so how do we use organic social media marketing? A systemized strategy to keep us on the straight and narrow, to keep us consistent so that we're always showing up on social media. So many times people do, like, they start and then they stop and then they start and then they stop. And the real key to social media is consistency. Content is king. Content is king and consistency is queen. And so they get a step-by-step system to show up, a strategy and a system to keep them consistent, and then a real focus on sales. We don't want to be showing up on social media just like as an influencer. We want to show up with the goal of sales, to actually make sales and build an audience of customers that will actually buy from us. So they get a step-by-step system.
That makes total sense. And just real quick, the step-by-step system, is that an on-demand course, a library, a one-on-one coaching, weekly Zoom calls? How does that offer look like?
Yes, so that is my Content That Converts group program. And so that's a twice a week meeting where we kind of help you with the social media. You get all of my trainings and you get my entire system for doing that.
Got it. Okay, so all of that is online, I bet. What is the value ladder from lowest entry point all the way up?
So I have a fast path to cash call for people who are, I find that people are usually like sitting on a lot of customers. They just can't see it for whatever reason, their beliefs,
Yeah.
or they just can't see the money or the opportunities that they're sitting on. So the first thing I offer is a fast path to cash call, because it's one of my secret superpowers that I can actually see the money in your business that you don't see. Then the second level is going to be my Content That Converts program. That's where we set you up with an organic social media system where you're consistently creating content that actually sells, and the mechanism to get those individuals off of social media and into your programs, making sure that you're really good at sales calls and a conversion event strategy. So that's my Content That Converts program. When people get into a nice way of creating consistent content on social media and they're getting consistent clients and they have a proven methodology, then they upgrade to my accelerator program. And what that looks like is myself and my team come in as and act as your chief operations officer and chief marketing officer. We look at your books, we make data-driven marketing and sales decision to really help you get to that next level. So that's a way more hands-on 6-month program where we redefine your entire business, making data-driven decisions with you.
That makes total sense. On the price points, real quick. So, the FastPath cash call, then the Converts program, and then the Done With You, I guess, accelerator program. Like,
Yes.
what were the price points?
Yeah, price points. So for that fast path to cash call is 250.
Yeah.
For Content That Converts right now, that is a 3-month program at 4,997.
Yeah.
And the accelerator program is $5,000 a month for 6 months.
Yeah. Minimum obligation 6 months, right?
Yes. Takes time. It takes time. Takes time to build those systems,
No,
Matthias.
I know. That's even quick 6 months.
Yes, yes.
What's the
Typically they follow on, but we can get some real results there in the first
Yeah.
6 months for sure.
Yeah. What's the funnel from awareness to I get my credit card out and wire you the money?
Okay, so the funnel is social media content that really hits on their major pain points. So there's basically 3 major pain points that I hit on in my content. I'm repeating that over and over in different ways. And then there's a call to action. That call to action actually leads them to a weekly invite only event that I give on rinse and repeat once a week. And the real value of that invite only event is I don't have to recreate the marketing. It's something that showcases my expertise. It brings people in, gives them an aha moment, and invites those right fit people who are ready right now onto an enrollment call. From that enrollment call, I will gather information from them where I really understand what their problems are, whether or not I can help them, and what program may or may not be right for them. And then I go into a prescribe phase where I will prescribe them one of those 3 packages that I mentioned to you. And so I do this on rinse and repeat. This is my marketing and sales system that I do that allows me to really bring in clients consistently.
Makes total sense. What tools do you use to deliver the value?
Well, I mean, I like a lot of tools. Obviously, like Canva is amazing. I use one of my favorite tools right now is Descript for podcast editing and those kind of things. But really, my favorite tool and my companion and what I call my VA that you never have to pay is utilizing ChatGPT.
Yeah, I was expecting that.
You
Um,
were.
yeah, I don't know. It's not unlikely because I mean ChatGPT is just great. You can do so much with it.
It's amazing when
Um,
used correctly. When used correctly.
yes, all about prompting. You should make that elite member.
Yes.
Take me on a timeline. When did you launch?
Let's see. I've been in business for over 20 years. So I'm celebrating my 20th year right now. And, yeah, big shout out. One of the things that makes me really good at what I do is, first of all, I'm highly skilled in digital marketing and I've been in that area for 20 years, but I've also made a lot of mistakes. I've sold low cost courses when I should have been selling higher ticket. I didn't take the time to get to know my customers at the right time. And you make a lot of mistakes. And now that I see that and have implemented a system, I can guide people through. And I know what they're thinking because I was also there.
I know. I know all of that stuff. When did you launch that system as it is today?
Oh, as it is today. So the Content That Converts program, that's like my main system. So that's been going on 3 years.
Okay, that's awesome. Maybe let's move over to success. How many customers do you have in these programs in the 3 months?
Yeah, I've serviced hundreds of customers. Right now, in my one-on-one, I can service 10 at a time because we have systems there that will fully support them. In my Content That Converts program right now, there's over 50 people. And then those fast path to cash calls get filled up as people request the time.
Okay. Um, that is, let me think. 10 times 5 is 50. Then 50 that pay 5, but spread out over, what was it, 3 months, right?
Yes, and then well, there's a continuity program also on the other side of that as
100
well.
month, 1500 times 50, 75, and 50, 125. Some other things, 150. And then you got the tripwire, which is maybe another 25-ish. So like 175K a month. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, what was your final calculation?
175K a month.
It definitely fluctuates around there.
That's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Um, how much of the 175 is recurring? Because you said you also got continuity, right? But the majority
Yeah,
of that is
so the
one.
content that converts is a continuity program that people will remain in. Do I have the number for how much is recurring? I don't really have that number in front of me.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry, I wasn't
theoretically, like
prepared.
even the one-on-one, the 10 slots that you have, even that is I would argue recurring, huh? I mean, it's not product
Oh
for money,
yeah,
it's
because
time
that's
for
for
money.
6 months. Yes, and then they continue
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. It's
You
really
got to
good.
go with recurring income, Matthias, as you know. You don't want to be making those sales every single month because that will lead you to burnout. So you got to figure out how to do recurring.
Yeah, yeah, and we will come in a second also to teams. So if you should ever build a team, the more predictability you have in your business, the better. And recurring income is like one of the levers to like just sleep way better. Anyways,
Yeah, you got to sleep better.
going back a year, so 175 now a month on a normal month. How much was that a year ago?
So it this year was actually a really good year. So it was probably 125 last year.
Yeah, 125, nice. And that's your main gig, right? Like that's 100% what you do.
That's what I do. And then I do my own social media, spend a lot of time marketing and selling. That's where I spend the majority of my time is marketing and sales.
A great segue because that's my next section, lead gen and customer acquisition. So, what's the audience size overall across all channels? Is it predominantly the US as well? So, what's the geo?
No, I am worldwide. So, English speaking worldwide. And so across the social media platforms, I mean, you're looking at probably, 100K maybe. I'd have to double check that. My email list is 25K, which is really powerful. Email list.
That's great. I mean, 175 of 100K following. That's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. Audience size a year ago, much smaller, including email list, or same size?
I would say it was similar. It was similar.
Nice, nice. Okay, and then also it gets interesting. Which are like what's the biggest channel? What's this channel where you started, and what's the channel that you believe in will have the biggest impact on your business going forward?
Well, I started out with Facebook. So Facebook was definitely where I was getting a lot of my customers. I have now gone more into Instagram because I believe, with the way that it has like the storefront capabilities and the highlights and all the different kinds of videos and the stories and the DMing, I really enjoy Instagram and that has been a really big part of my business. But as far as new audience building, I'm doubling down on TikTok next year because that's just where everybody's hanging out.
I was thinking that as well. Real quick question, because I think that was just an interesting nugget there. You said like Instagram storefront, right? With your knowledge on high ticket, getting people over into the calls or webinars and so on and so forth. How do you use the storefront? Like, what's the role of a storefront in your funnel?
Yeah, so I mean, it's more of strategically utilizing highlights. Okay, so utilizing highlights. So like I view my Instagram as like a new person. What is she about? What do I need to know? Calls to action, making that very clear on Instagram, and then really utilizing stories through asking questions, running polls, really starting to interact with those warmer leads through
Oh,
stories and DMing and those kind of things is
I
how I
get it.
really
I
like
get
to
it.
use
You,
Instagram.
you don't mean, let's say, because now social becomes shoppable. You can put on TikTok, on Instagram, you can
No,
make
I don't mean
little
it like that.
offers. You don't do that. What you mean is that Instagram, like the marketplaces, the social media channels, they are your storefront. So people see you, they build up trust before they then come into your offers. That's what you mean.
Yes.
Correct. Okay,
Yes.
great. So, um, how's that typical user flow look like? Is it shorts, real stories? Is it organic posts? Is it paid ads? Is it like how does it work? How does the engine work?
So I do invest a fair amount into paid ads, especially when I'm leading up to a launch or I want to do a good audience build. So I do rely on some paid ads, but really short form video is where it's at. So I primarily focus on short form video because that can be utilized on like all of the social media platforms as well. Plus, the know, like, and trust factor increases with those short form
Got
videos,
it.
and that's what everybody's watching.
And then portrait mode, hook with then value, and then
That's it. Yeah, I like to follow the pain, agitate, solve situation on my videos, focusing on one category at like one major pillar at a time per week, and with a call to action, exactly like you said.
yeah, that makes total sense. Real quick, team size today. How many FTEs?
So there's 5 total in my core team, and so those are people who are on my team that we work every single day together, and then we hire a myriad of contractors depending on what the customers need.
Makes sense. What's the biggest, I mean, I bet biggest cost item in your P&L is either payroll or ads, depending how hard you push it.
It's definitely payroll.
Yeah.
Got to have a good team.
Yes, payroll. And then what else? What comes there after?
As far as costs go,
Expenditures, yeah, like OpEx.
yeah,
What?
definitely ads is next. Investing in ads, which is why, doubling down on organic social media just improves everything across the board. So you don't have to invest so much in ads, but definitely ads. As far as other costs, then you just have like all the softwares and all those kind of things. But I mean, basically, those are my three biggest expenses because
That
I just
makes
work from home. So
that makes total sense as well. Love it. Moving over to a section about the future. So, can you get your business up to 10x by yourself?
I don't believe that I can. I think you basically need systems, and you have to be an expert in a lot of different things to get your business to that next level. Plus, you can't just be doing it all alone. Like, you need people around you to support you and to do a lot of those things. So I don't think that I could ever do that on my own. I haven't gotten here on my own.
That makes sense. What's the best strategy to win big in the next 12 months?
I would say if you want to win big in your business, you should double down on organic social media. It is free, it is out there. You can build your own audience. If you can get those individuals off of social and onto an email list, it will set you up. That's your insurance policy for the future. So, out of any strategy, I'm doubling down on organic social media.
Okay. Um, let's take a typical day, morning, evening. You're doubling down on social media. What is it that you specifically do to be most effective in doing that?
Well, first of all, I mean, I always have a morning routine. So I don't just wake up and get directly to work, okay? So I have a really good morning routine to make sure I set my intentions for the day. And then as far as organic social media goes, it's all about planning and strategizing. What you don't want to be doing is waking up and trying to figure out what to post that day. You need to view it in a long-term strategy. How am I doing my organic social media over the next 3 months? And how does that play into my conversion events, and how does that play into my marketing and sales system? And so it's really important to time block all of those that process, because that is the only way that you're going to remain consistent and have a message that's on point that actually speaks to your customers. So maybe on Mondays I will do brainstorming and I will outline a month's worth of social media content. Then on Tuesdays I will shoot all of those. Then on Wednesdays I do an edit, and then I turn it over to my team for publishing and captioning and hashtagging and scheduling.
Yeah, clear. What's most important in doing that? You know, some people say you have to post 4 times a day. Others says it's all about the quality, less about posting 4 times a day. Some people say it's everything, but like even there must be an order. Like what's most important?
Yeah, I mean, you have to find that sweet spot. So there's a sweet spot on organic social media between like being really consistent and the quality of content, because the higher the quality, the longer that it takes. And so I always shoot for one high quality post a day on all social media profiles that I'm currently active in. And I have found that is good enough where I'm showing up every day, there's enough content going out, and it can be really effective. So you do have to watch that. Obviously, stories is a little different. You want to do like 5 to 7 stories a day because that keeps people and your most active audience like connected with you during the day. So that is what it looks like for me.
Got it. Wow. Let's talk about one more thing. Give me a second. Take a note on this. What's the biggest thing holding you back right now?
The biggest thing holding me back right now is fine tuning my even more, and I always take a real iterative approach, getting information back and then taking a iterative approach to my marketing and sales. And so I would say as we're scaling and audience building, really being able to do that in mass, creating a lot more content, creating a lot bigger audience, and really making sure those systems are in place to do so.
Yes, that is obvious. And really good.
I didn't mean to be obvious.
No, like I see you, like I've just pictured you sitting at ChatGPT and like cranking all the systems out. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, let's move over to a section I call Famous Five. What's your favorite business book?
Well, let's see. Right now, I'm really big into Atomic Habits because it's just those little teeny tiny things you do every day that doesn't seem to matter today that you're doing it, but adds up. And that is like business for me is not about one sparkly strategy that solves absolutely everything. It is how do I show up consistently every day and make iterative, teeny tiny improvements? That is how I have built a successful business. It's not because I got this really amazing strategy from some coach sometime. Like it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
And so Atomic Habits, I'll always go back to that.
love it. Favorite person that you're studying, your role model.
My favorite person that I am studying, or well, I mean, I'm kind of into spirituality, so I'm real big into Wayne Dyer right now. So manifesting and really setting really powerful intentions so that if you have a goal in mind, you can actually like head towards that goal and see it to fruition.
Favorite social media channel for inspiration?
Uh, mine. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, I think. Let's see. I like Alex Hermosi these days. I see a lot of him. I'm real inspired by him. He's an amazing marketer. Knows what he's talking about. I'm also a big Gary V fan. We share a similar energy and no BS attitude.
Yeah, yeah. What's your favorite online tool for building your company?
I would say, I mean, I really love Active Campaign. That's where my email list is. That is where my sales mechanism is. That's where I can go and build my relationships because relationships is really how you scale. Like it's all about who you know and then tracking those individuals and those touch points is super valuable. So, Active Campaign.
Biggest thing on your mind?
AI and how that is currently changing the whole online world and how my competitors are using that and how I can keep ahead of that curve because it's changing so drastically, everything so quickly.
Yeah,
So that is the biggest thing on my mind.
clear. Moving over to a personal section. How many hours do you sleep per night?
I'm an 8 to 9 hour kind of girl.
What's the situation? Are you married, single, any kids?
I'm married with 3 kids, all under 11.
Good job.
Thank you.
What's your age?
I'm 40. Am I 43 now? I think I'm 43.
Good stuff. Final question. We also want to give some advice to the audience. If you could go back in time and have a conversation with your 20-year-old self, what's the best piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
Find a coach or a consultant who has already done what you want to do and follow their advice. Do not figure this out for yourself.
Amazing. Thank you so much. This is Lindsey Anderson, who worked in Idaho in a nuclear waste facility in her previous life before going online and helping people to run their own business better and more profitably, about programs, courses, memberships. She's doing that now for more than 20 years. She has pretty good step-by-step systems in place. The whole value ladder with everything from the entry point to something which is then done with you, where she and her team comes in and makes sure that you get the value. social is like how she gets customers. She is very disciplined and has a very clear habit of delivering good quality content consistently in order to generate eyeballs and convert these into then off social invite only events. Social media following is decent, 100K, and she makes good 7 figures with that. So that's an amazing return on audience. And yeah, small team, but strong people. Also does some paid ads and wants to double down going forward on organic. Thank you so much, Lindsey, for sharing your passion and taking us to the next level.
It was a real pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was Lindsey Anderson. You learned how to attract high quality leads and convert more clients. So how can you unlock the next level in your business?